Find out. You got a
Hello?
work wife?
Nah, I don't.
Good.
I used to.
What? When?
Shit, back in 2019, 2020 time.
Where? Ah, we was working together then. You a good one.
Exactly.
You never say. Let
I
me
did.
find
I
out.
did have a
Let
work
me
life.
find out. Yeah, that's interesting. You
I'd be
did
like,
actually.
I'd be like, and then the voice kind of still there.
Ugh. I don't. That's not. Okay, let me go
You,
find a work husband.
you slick like that voice.
What?
You slick like the voice.
Stop talking like that. We
This
just
is
talked
my
about this in the car.
this is my normal voice though.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
Who's your work wife?
Summer.
Anyway,
I've only ever had one work wife.
do you believe in that? You think that's the thing?
No, I think that's some bullshit.
Wow. Okay. So, welcome back, guys, to the Constantly Growing podcast. I am Summer, and this is my husband, Devon. We have been together 11 years, but married 3. So, we're still growing. On this podcast, you're going to learn, you're going to evolve, you're going to grow with us. Yes, you with us, because we don't know everything. We've been together for a while, but we still young. Okay, so let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I really
How
just
you-
scratched myself.
How you doing today, though?
I'm good. I'm better. I'm glad we had a talk this morning.
Yeah, Summer was on my head this morning.
I was. He waking up like, hey, beautiful. I'm like, I am mad. And I really did not want to be. I thought I'd let it go when I went to sleep, but I woke up like still feeling away.
She's mad because I went to sleep.
No, I was mad because I asked him to help me put the dishes up, and he did not.
Because I went to go read the Bible.
And he did. So when we had to talk this morning, and I was like, you know what? We need to talk about this because I don't think we need to carry on the day and I feel away and you're trying to be all whatever. So I was letting him know how I felt. And as he was talking and he was telling me what he went to the back to do, I was like, oh, dang it. I really
like,
can't be mad
Let
at
me
that.
pick my
'Cause I
face
like
up off
that.
the floor.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, he was doing a good thing. And I love when you tell me about what you've read and like how you felt about it and stuff like that. But still, like I felt like you could have communicated because you just like got up, like you didn't say, "Oh, I'm about to go to the back to read." You were like, I asked you, you didn't say nothing. Shortly after, you got up and you went to the back, and then you was asleep. And I'm like, bruh, I got all this stuff to do. I am not going to bed with the kitchen looking crazy. But
I was
anyway,
sleeping peaceful, too.
yeah. It was 1:00 in the morning. I got into bed and I was like, wow, look at you.
I heard you. Then you came in the room making all that noise last night.
On purpose.
And I just rolled over, tucked myself in. Covers right back to bed.
Anyway.
She thought she was going to wake me up. So, we've been getting the question, what took us so long to get married? Because every time in the intro, Summer always says, we've been together for 11 years. We've been married for 3.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, well, whoa. Why is there such a large gap? And, I guess today, everybody's like, if you've been together for a year, 2 years, by that time you should be married. You should know if you want to marry the person.
Right.
And so I think we're going to touch on that today, and just give a little bit about that story as to, what all happened and how we got there. So you want to start that off?
I can. So age had a lot to do with it. I mean, we met when we were...
Not for me.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, not for you, but kind of for me, back then, I just don't think we were mature enough when you first asked. So, like, we met when I was 18, Devon was 19. You know, we did the whole, like, we were just friends for, like, a good 6 months. Like, legit, just friends. And, oh, my God.
Why you keep lying to these people?
No benefits. Okay, we had a talk. Anyway, it don't matter. No, like,
Good.
I am not lying. Because, you know, I'll go off on a tangent.
Continue.
Just
continue. Just,
okay.
Come on, stay focused. Stay focused.
So, anyway, yeah. So, we met when we were 18 and 19. And then, you know, we dated for 6 months. And then, fast forward, you asked me maybe when we were 20 and 21 or 21, 22. But, like, legit, I'm sitting on bar stools at the apartment, like, at the counter, and there are other people around, like just friends and stuff, and you're standing against a wall, and, like, I turn around, and you're like, will you marry me? And I was like, what? You so funny. And you were like, come on, would you marry me? And I was like, Devin, why are you playing? Because I'm like, you're playing. Like, you're a jokester. Like, no way I'm taking this serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we weren't mature enough for that. We were not. You were not. I was not. You know what I'm saying? I felt like we still had a lot of growing to do. And had we gotten married for us that young, I don't know if it would be what it is today. I think that we needed to grow through a lot of the things that we experienced, and, like, why you looking like that?
I'm just, admiring your beauty as you talk.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So silly, man.
But yeah, so I just feel like we had a lot of growing to do. And so then, maybe you could pick up, but after we graduated college.
Well, I graduated.
Well, yeah, you graduated first because Devin is a year older than me. So.
Oh, she likes to throw that out there. Why can't I just be smarter?
I mean, I helped you with a lot of your work, but you are very intelligent.
I you helped me with
like
one paper.
No, you're very intelligent, and it was more than that. But anyway, I know. I digress.
But yeah. So we were together from 2012.
Yeah, 2012.
2012, and then 2015. That's when I had graduated.
Yeah.
And then. Oh. Then I moved back to DC. And then you were still in Georgia because you were finishing up school.
Yeah.
And then, so at that point, we're long distance.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2016, I leave and I move to Italy.
In 2016?
2016.
Oh, yeah, because then I went to New York to do an internship. Mm-hmm. And I was staying with my god sister, Essence. And then I would come visit you in DC.
I was in Italy.
No. But before you left.
Oh, yeah, before I left.
Before you left, I would come visit you in DC. I would drive from New York or New Jersey to DC. And that's how we would see each other in between the time as you were trying to, get overseas to play ball. Right.
And then I left. Yeah. So then I was gone for a whole year.
You were.
But I came home once. I came home around Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw each other then. But that whole time with long distance.
Yeah, because in between that time, I left New York and I moved back to Georgia.
And you broke up with me during that time too.
Well, I mean, actually,
if we're going to tell it, we're going to tell it right. We're not about to sit here and joke about it. We're going to tell it right. You broke up with me.
It was for a day.
You broke up with me.
Okay, I did. So the reason I broke up with him for that day was because I got in my head. I think we talked about this, but anyway.
Well, we're going to talk about it right now.
Okay. Well, I got in my head. I was like, no way this is going to work. He's overseas. He's in Italy. I've just always heard stories people go over there and they're involved with other people, and I'm not there, and I didn't want to I just didn't want to deal with that. So I just figured you're gonna live a double life, or you're gonna live a life there and then try to be with me, and I just didn't want to be a part of that.
But
and
we
so
talked
I
about
just
it,
assumed,
and I was actually presented that while I was over there. Remember we talked about that?
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so when I was over there, they had brought to me and was like, we like you here. We want you to stay. We can get you citizenship. And I was like, huh? And they were like, yeah, like, we can find a girl and you marry her, and then you can stay in Italy and play basketball forever. And they were like, I was like, but who is it? They were like, you don't have to worry about that.
You said, who is it?
No, I'm saying, like, who is it? Like, and I was like, I don't even know, like, nobody. And they were like, you don't have to worry about that because you don't even have to know who she is for real. They were like, you would just have to stay married for like 3 years. And then she would get U.S. citizenship and I would get, Italian citizenship. And I thought about it, but I was like, how I'm going to tell Summer, like, oh, I done got married,
That would have been the end of this.
And then, I'm over there playing basketball, but it's like, how would I present that to Summer? But if we weren't together at the time, I would have did it. I probably would have did it.
That's almost sad. I think that's dumb.
I probably would have did it, though.
Why would you do that?
I mean, I don't know. I was like, I wanted to play so bad at the time. It was like, oh, if I get married, I get citizenship, and I could possibly play on a national team too.
I'm so glad
I thought about it.
that God has protected you. Because some of the choices that you may have thought about making, think about it, if I wasn't in your life. And I'm not I just think he used me. You know what I'm saying? I do.
Okay.
Yeah, for each other.
No, for sure.
I mean, in ways that if you weren't in my life, I mean, I don't know. So, but wow. That, I just don't think that would have been a great decision. You just never know, how that could have affected your life. They could tell you one thing, but then...
Right.
Wow. Somebody you don't even know,
But I know people that have done it, though.
Well, that's
and it's been fine. It's worked out in their favor. But I do know. But, so that's the thing. But she broke up with me, like I said.
Yeah.
And then she comes back, and she's talking about,
I didn't mean it.
Yeah, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I literally changed my lifestyle while I was over there for a summer.
It was one day. How could you have changed your whole life in one day?
No, I'm talking about prior to that. I was literally, because they're 6 hours ahead, I was literally staying up every day until 6 o'clock in the morning there, which is midnight here, to make sure that our communication was going. Then I was getting up at 12 noon, which was 6 o'clock in the morning here, and calling you and talking to you up until you went to work or whatever you were doing that day. So I was trying to make that communication work and make sure everything went well. And Summer's like, this ain't it.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't see it working that day. I don't know what came over me, but it was just like, oh my God, I don't know. I just had all these thoughts, and somebody could have said something to me. I have no idea. Can't remember. But anyway, so yeah, that was that. But it was one day I talked to my mom about it, and she was like, "Girl, you tripping? If you are not sure, don't just say things out of your current feelings. You need to be sure. You need to make sure you're sure about stuff like that when you say something like that, because you can't play with people's feelings. Right. So she was like, I mean, go and call him back. And it's so interesting. She's always rooted for you. She has. No matter what we have dealt with, it's not that she was bump you, my feelings, no, but always just do what's best for you. But she was never it was just very girl, you are an adult now. Right. Make a decision. So anyway, moving past that, so
then 2017.
Okay.
I make it.
2017.
I make it home, And I drive to Georgia. At the time, I didn't have a car. I just got home. I told my brother, I was like, Dion, let me use your car this week. And he like, for what? I said, I'm about to drive to Georgia. He said, dog, what? He said, people be like, I'm about to go to the gas station. I'm about to go to the gym. He's talking about, I'm about to go to Georgia. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go see Summyr. He said, bro, you're tripping. I said, man, let me see the car. So I got in the car, drove to Georgia. While I'm on the way down there, I called Will, like, Will, I need a spot to stay tonight. He like, for what? I'm like, man, I'm coming for Summyr's birthday. I said, I need a spot. He said, man, let me ask my mama. So next thing you know, Will was like, don't nobody stay at my house. I said, I need a spot to stay just for the night. So I get down to Georgia, stay at Will's spot. Your mom knows I'm in Georgia, but you don't, because this is for your birthday. And I set up for you to go to lunch with Alexis. And the next thing you know, I showed up at lunch. Surprise you for your birthday.
Yeah, I did not expect that. That was a nice surprise.
Fresh off the plane, after flying for however many hours, hop in the car, drive to Georgia to see you.
Yeah.
For your birthday.
Yeah. You did.
And that's 2017. And then fast forward a couple months, you end up moving to DC.
Yeah, so I did. I had that dinner with my cousins, and then my cousin Paris, she knew of a lady in DC who was hiring, and they asked like if I had certain experience. We got my resume together, all my stuff. They sent my stuff to her. I had prayed about it. I had literally like written in my work schedule book that I wasn't gonna be there no more. Like I stopped filling it out, and I was like, I'm not gonna be here. I started telling like my coworkers, whatever, whoever I was working with on that shift, like there's no point in me scheduling clients. Like I'm not gonna be here. And
because you were working at Michael Kors.
I was working at Michael Kors.
And
yes.
girl, you was looking good when you was working there too.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to the free clothes. Yes. But yeah, and so, and 2 weeks later, like I literally had started packing up my stuff and everything, but 2 weeks later, I got a call that I got the job, and I moved to DC. We asked your aunt if I could stay with her because she lived by herself and she had extra room. Mm-hmm. So I asked if I could stay with her, and I paid her to rent her room.
She said, "Now, Devon, I'm going to give her a nominal rate."
Yes, she reminded me of that nominal rate.
And I said, listen, you got to talk to Summyr about that. She was like, tell Summyr to call me because I'm going to give her a nominal rate.
Yeah.
Because she has to pay something.
Yeah.
He was like, but she's not going to find this rate anywhere else.
Yeah.
I said, Patty, I do not want to know.
Yeah. But that rate was nominal, and I remember I told my mom, I was like, she said she's going to give me a nominal rate, and when I told her the price, she said, yeah, you'll never get that again. I was like,
I don't know anybody paying that.
No.
It was like $200?
Two or $250.
Okay.
Something like that. But it was two something. But yeah, so I'm so appreciative of her for letting me do that, because that got me here quickly.
Right.
So yeah, so I did that, and then we ended up here. Not here, but in DC at the same time, because it's like the right time. Like you came back from Italy, I came for a job, and then we had this time to like be together. We didn't know how we were gonna do that, because when you were in Italy, we're navigating a long distance relationship, and so like we're having to, just, except for that one day where I broke up with you. After that, like we're constantly constantly communicating. And to be honest, like you were really good at that, because you made sure that you were consistent with that. Like you called me every single day.
Yeah, because I was trying to make sure that I was taking your feelings into account, and I know how you were or how you are. And I was like, I got to make sure that communication is strong, because I know some are going to feel like, oh, he doing whatever, especially after like being in college and what I'm saying, like all the stuff that went on during that time.
Yeah.
But then once you moved to DC, I was actually about to go back to Italy.
But before we get there, like people might want to understand, how did you make a long distance relationship work? Like, because that's not really something to just gloss over.
Okay.
Because a lot of times people's relationships fall apart once they go long distance, especially if you started off in person and now you're long distance and now you don't have the access that you used to have to this person, and you have a lot of other choices out there, and honestly you're away from this person, they may not ever find out if you want to go try different things, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like how just a little bit like
so for me,
my hair go.
I don't know if you're gonna remember this, but I remember during this time, like, I still tried to make you feel special. So even though I was long distance, I may still try to do, think about, like, sometimes I may be like, oh, send you some money just for like some food or something, like get you, something to eat, or, I think like during that time I might have sent you like an edible arrangement, or, what I'm saying, something something like that, just to like continue to make you.
I was broke.
Even just like to continue to make you feel special, even though I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Because somebody at the time, like, you never know, you might have met somebody could have been trying to take you out to eat and all that kind of stuff. So that was like something like I wanted to continue to. Just continue to do little things, do what I could from so far away. Mm. So that's, for me, that's what I try to do, and just continue to keep that line of communication open.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would always tell people, I'm like, honestly, Devon is a big reason why it worked, because you did make sure that the communication was strong, and it put us into like this routine of we're still growing together.
It definitely became a routine.
Yeah, it was a real routine. Like, and I expected to talk to you at a certain time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then if that time was thrown off, what you was doing?
You make me sound like such a villain.
Not a villain.
Or like just like.
But I feel like.
Person.
But I feel like in a relationship, most people will know this. On both sides of the thing, if you start having a routine and somebody throws that routine off, the other person,
the routine to be thrown off.
The other person is gonna feel some type of way.
Yeah.
So if it was thrown off where I'm trying to call you and you not answering, what you had going on? Because we're so far apart.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
So to me, it's like, who you was with, and the same thing from your end.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I was just out at dinner with the team. We had a team dinner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think it takes, like, a lot of trust for it to work. I don't, like, if you can't have any type of trust with the person, it's just not going to work, because you'll always assume, even with our church, like, if something is thrown off, you're like, well, hold up. You know what I'm saying? But I had to decide I'm going to trust you.
You know what worked?
And I'm not going to, like, assume anymore that it's more than what you're saying. I have to, and honestly, my mom, again, I honestly think she should be a therapist. But anyway, she told me that, she was like, you have to choose to trust what he's saying. Like, you can't assume that it's something that it's not. Like, if it comes to you, all right, but like, stop thinking about something that didn't happen.
Right.
So,
you know what really helped as well with our communication and building on that bond, being long distance? Remember, we started reading together.
We did.
We started reading. We would have like different like verses and stuff. You would be like, oh, well, I was reading this today, and then we would talk about what you were reading in the Bible, and then I would tell you what I was reading, and we would kind of like discuss that. So that was like something different every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we would talk about how we could apply that to our lives. And then also during that time, I was watching a lot of Netflix and all that kind of stuff. So I always be geeked to tell you about the shows and stuff that I was watching.
And stuff.
Yep, because I was watching Narcos during that time. And then I came home and I tried to watch the second season of Narcos, and I'm like, this thing in Spanish, I don't even know what's going on. But at the time, I'm like, I'm reading the captions the whole time. But I guess just because it was like, I was trying my best not to do, be out at the bars and stuff like that. So I'm like,
you had to make a real effort.
Yeah. Because
I thought you just like...
No, because you got to think, like, you go from having your lifestyle in the States where, you go to the bars, different restaurants, and just hang out and stuff like that. But it's nothing. And then now you're playing, professionally in a different country. So it's like a lot of attention is on you. Because most of the time, you might be one of two Americans on the team. In my case, I was the only American. So I stick out like a sore thumb when I'm over there. I'm walking around, people coming up to me, want to take pictures, all that kind of stuff. So became a different situation. But yeah, so it was just like finding like different things because if you're, a lot of times relationships, you don't really be talking for real. You talk sometimes in relationships, but a lot of times you don't really, it's real surface. So it was like trying to find deep things that we could talk about to continue to grow together. So, and I feel like during that time, the Bible was big because we were able to really discuss and read. Because they say in relationships, it's three people. It's the two people, and then God is in the center. No, this is true. This is facts. So with that being said, during that time, I felt like that helped with, even though we had been together for a while at that point, that still helped with that foundation that we were building leading towards marriage.
Honestly, now that I think about it, even though I might have said a few things, it was probably necessary for us, and that's not always everybody's story to wait within that time. But like the thing is, we were still young. Like we were still young. Like I think like by the time you proposed, I might have been like 25, 26 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So we're still like kind of like in our mid-20s, which is still very young, and we're still very much trying to find our way in life and build a life as adults. And like I'm still like paying rent. Like at this time, I think I had moved to like your grandmother's house.
Oh yeah, because my grandmother had passed at that time.
And so, now I'm paying a little bit more, and just like, but still, because we're still trying to get it together. So I'm paying rent there to rent a room again, because you guys had a family home that you could do that, and so we still weren't bringing in enough. But then at this point, at 2019, I had then got me a good job.
Right, no, you did.
Yeah, and
you got a job as a government contractor.
Yeah, and so getting that job, we were working at a very high level place. Well, I was working at a very high level place, and that was nobody but God, because I did not apply for that job. That's a whole different story, like my whole job sequence, because God really did that. But for me to get that, and then it was just me on the contract at the time. It was just me and Frank, and so then I told him about you, but I didn't say this was my
Summyr was like,
man.
Summyr told me that she told him, she was like, yeah, listen, babe, we got this contract. They're looking to hire people to do IT work. I'm about to ask him if they're still looking.
Yeah.
So Summyr said, I went to him and I was like, listen, I have a friend of mine that works in IT. He just got into it, but he's a quick learner. He's pretty skilled. He's professional. Well, can I send you his resume? And he's like, yeah. So I get on the phone with him, and he's like, yeah, so I talked to Summyr. She said you guys went to school together, but now you guys both live in D.C. I saw your skill set and everything. It looks like you're just getting into it. You've been in the IT space for about 6 months. I'd love to bring you on. This is how much the job pays. Is that a good number for you? So at the time, it's more than I'm making. I'm like, hell yeah, that's a good number. But now thinking on it, I'm like, because Frank, that's my guy now. Yes. Me and Frank, we still talk to this day.
Yeah.
And he's hilarious. But I'm like, he lowballed me.
He didn't negotiate. I told him, you always negotiate your salary.
But you always
aim high.
At the time, it was a good number, though. For me, it was a good number.
But you could have.
So I get on, and then next, the first day I walk into the office, one of the other ladies like, that's your boyfriend, eh?
Oh, yeah, because by that time, the team grew. And so, like, one of the other ladies that was on the management side, she was like, she watched you come in, our interaction, and she was like, so is that the fiance you was saying that, like, works in IT? And I was like, huh? She was like, I said, yeah. She was like, I thought so, because it's just like the way y'all's interaction, the energy here.
That's because when I walked in, you got all excited to see me.
I know that was probably a dead giveaway, but also it's kind of like, that's my man, so please don't try it.
So at the end of 2018, towards the end, my mom said, despite y'all differences and everything, my mom goes, hey man, you gonna end up losing her waiting all this time. You done proposed, now you waiting.
Now, Miss Tanya.
No, I said, why you say that? She was like, who wants to be engaged that long? Like, she gonna end up leaving you. She like, this girl that moved up here to DC and you just stringing her along. This is what my mama said. And I was like, I'm about to propose. And then like my mom went with me to get the ring.
Oh, okay.
And honestly speaking, my mom actually bought the first ring that I was going to propose to you with. But I never used that ring because I was like, it's kind of little. Like, I ain't really trying to do that.
Did y'all take it back?
No, I still have that ring to this day.
What?
I still have it.
You've never told me that.
I still have that ring. But
y'all can't take it back? You know, Queen,
that was 2018.
Oh, all right.
That's like...
Save
that's
it for Winter.
Yeah, I may give it to Winter. But she was like, you wasted my money. She was like, because you never even used the ring. She was like, you need to give it to one of your brothers. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, you could do that.
No, I'm not going to do that, though.
No one would ever know.
Yes, they will now.
But they don't know what the ring looks like. Yeah. So, like,
but I still have it.
Know.
So then we go, and then we get married in 2020 in January, the end of January. But we don't count it as our wedding anniversary because,
at the courthouse.
Yeah, it was the courthouse.
We literally got married at the courthouse, then we went to work.
Yeah, and the guy says, the judge, he's like, "Do you guys want me to do like a little ceremony?" I said, "No, because you're not a pastor."
Yeah.
He's like, "Okay." I'm like, I'm just like, you're not a pastor. Like,
we were both on the same page with that. Like
he's standing here in his judge robe talking about like, you want me to do a ceremony? No. Like, let's just sign this paper and let's just get up out of here. So we went to work after that, and then we were like, we're not gonna have a wedding. And then your mom and my mom was like, y'all gonna have a wedding.
Look, we didn't want to spend a whole lot of money, and we were going to just be outside of the church in like some green
like the courtyard,
and the little courtyard, and have the pastor go ahead and like announce us married. Do the whole thing. Him do the ceremony, because the most important thing was us getting married, right. And that being that, and doing it before God and our really close family. Yep. Like, we didn't even invite all of our friends because it happened so quick. We weren't even thinking. We couldn't think about everybody. We were really just thinking about like mainly our family, because we're like, okay, at least like let's get them there. You know what I'm saying? Because we weren't even gonna do that. It was just gonna be our parents. My best friend, she's an event planner, and I think I was telling her what we were gonna do, and she was like, no, son.
And she had never did a wedding before.
She had never did a wedding before, but she was like, no, son, we're not doing this. And so she, like, within a solid week, y'all, I'm not kidding, me and her were on the phone nonstop. But I thank God for her. Like, she found a place. Like, it just all came together real quick. She found a place. Her cousin owned an event space in Augusta, and she gave us a nominal rate.
A nominal rate.
Yeah, and it's like everybody kind of like chipped in to make this happen. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, it was nobody but God. Nobody but God to use Alexis like that. And that was her first wedding, and it was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely.
But that's 2020. And what you about to say?
No, I was just gonna say I'm still so glad we did it so small like that, because we didn't have any debt that carried over. Yep. And though, like, of course, maybe one day we could do something like
2025 is going up for 5 years.
Yeah, because I wanted to do a destination wedding, and we're gonna get there. We're gonna do that.
So everybody that couldn't make it or wasn't invited, you're gonna have a whole year to plan.
Yeah.
And it's going up.
Yeah, but I think that's the smartest. That was the best decision for us. But I think you should always do what's best for you, and do what you want for sure. But,
so that's basically like our journey as to why we've only been married for 3 years, but been together for 11.
Yeah.
So before we close it out, what's your favorite memory of our wedding day?
It has to be when so when you knocked on the hotel
Dang,
door.
that's mine. That's mine.
Yeah, I'm sure. So when you knocked on the hotel door and I opened the door and I saw you and I was like, oh, Devin, like, I'm not supposed to see you before the wedding. And he was like, we're already married. And he was like, you believe in that? I was like, I was like, I guess it ain't true, huh? And so we literally like turned up in the hotel room because everybody had left me at that point. I don't think, did I have makeup on and stuff yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, okay. So nobody was there with me.
Nobody was there with me.
Nobody was there with you.
And I was like, what was dumb was like, if they didn't want us to see each other, why they put our hotel rooms right next to each other?
I don't know. But like, it was just so funny. And we just like turned up. We just like danced around and like hugged.
I had a long night. Like, we had went out, we was partying, and then I woke up and I was like, dang, I'm in here by myself. I said, I gotta go see Summyr.
Yeah.
Because usually, like, we had already moved in and got an apartment and everything like that together at that point. Yeah. So it's like I'm used to like waking up at that point, you know, because it had been like a month. So I'm used to waking up
together.
And you're right there. So then I woke up and I'm like, oh yeah, nah.
And I just couldn't believe that you did that. But you were like, bro, like, we're already married. 1, 2. Why you believe in that? Like, that's not true. And
so
yeah.
That
was fun. And that was funny because we didn't do anything traditional at all.
Dang, that was like my time. That was like my favorite part of my wedding day as well.
Yeah. So. Because, I mean, I think at the core, like, it's just, we always made it about us. Like, getting married, the focus was us getting our union. And I think that that's what was best for us. So, yeah.
Yeah. And also, too, it just shows, like, through our whole time, it's been nothing but constantly growing together.
Oh, my God.
It's been nothing but just constantly growing.
Yeah.
From 2012 to 2023.
Yeah.
It's been, you know, all it is. And even from like us explaining our story and talking about it, that shows it right there.
Yeah.
Like it's just been growth.
Yeah.
And it's been together.
Yeah. We've just been growing together.
It's been beautiful. But yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and close it out. Like,
okay. So like if you guys have any more questions, we'll get an email together. But for now, you can DM us on IG on the Constantly Growing podcast page, and we might feature your question or have it be the topic of conversation. So
yeah. So thank you guys for watching. We appreciate, you know, everybody's support. You know, continue to grow with us. Continue to, you know, follow, like, subscribe, comment, all that. We definitely appreciate your support. And, you know, at this point, you guys are family, you know, at this point. So,
peace, family.
Peace, family. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.